Welcome to Inspiring Teachers, a show bringing you classroom tips, motivation, and stories from successful educators. Join Tavis Beam and Danny Hauger as they explore the why of teaching.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inspiring Teachers. I'm Danny Hauger. Tavis Beam is at home, lining up some woodworking projects, and I've got my Zager acoustic guitar here with me today. And I'm just going to record a live episode on February 6, 2021. Wow. February in teaching is kind of an interesting month. And this year, every month is an interesting month in education. But I'm thinking about specifically what's going on with football championships happening, and a lot of kids, will be watching that on TV. Can you work that into your classroom somehow? Can you talk about what's going on in TV and film and streaming? And can you connect 60 seconds of your day to what you're teaching and why the things that are interesting to them in their lives might also be relevant to a classroom lesson? Because all those kinds of connections that you make can help students think about school while they're at home and help them also enjoy thinking about the things they enjoy at home and how they connect to school. It's wrapping a 360 to what they're learning. Before we get too far into this, I want to thank our friends at AmpedUpLearning.com. There's a wonderful wealth of resources there that are all created by teachers and benefit teachers and are owned by teachers. Fantastic stuff. You can use the promo code HaugerHistory10 and save 10% on your order and find a new lesson for your February in the classroom, from math to English to interactive assignments to web quests and all sorts of distance learning resources as well. Again, that's the HaugerHistory10 promo code. Save 10%. Go to the Hauger History store. Check out some of my government economics worksheets. I've got web quests and project-based learning that are really fantastically created to get students interested in the lessons and help them jump out in your classroom. And so many creative resources on there, from decks and vocab builders to math activities and stuff to get your kids out of the seat too. So that's a wonderful thing to find. AmpedUpLearning.com. They give away great stuff on social media as well, so follow them on Twitter, Facebook as well. Amped Up Learning. Thank you very much for supporting Inspiring Teachers. Yeah, so I'm just thinking today is a great day to talk about bringing your talents into the classroom. You've already now engaged them with that first 60 seconds, maybe a journal entry about a producer or a writer on a show, or a connection to a historical episode that's based on something that's really happened, or thematically similar to a genre that's popular. Pick something out, and now you've got them engaged for that first 60. Have a little conversation about it, throw it around the room. You could fishbowl it in front of everybody, or have response groups where they meet in little groups, then bring their best 2 ideas to the room to discuss. And in February, you're starting to see, in California at least, some bright skies, sunny skies. Can you have them do something outside, even if it's after the class meeting, and bring their results and findings? So geometry students and math students, I always thought it was great to take a geometry walk. They could do that around their neighborhood, right, with their parents. Find shapes in nature that are from an octagon at a stop sign, to the squares of cement on the sidewalk, to circles of diameters around tree branches, and have them make those calculations: area, surface area, volume. Take the formulas with them. Give them a little note card to take with, and walk around. Get outside. We all have been stuck indoors for so much time at this point that it's good to get out. The idea of holding the guitar today, too, is what are your special traits? What would you be doing on a Saturday that you could make interesting on a Monday? I'm teaching World War I right now, and we did the Spanish-American War. And I taught them 60 seconds about the evolution of the guitar from Spain, early stringed instruments, and how they've evolved into something like this that I showed them on camera. Again, we have all these things that can just bring a lesson to life and break up a lesson. So if you're doing 10 slides in a row, then stop and do something in the middle that is different, that is a break, that is revitalizing. I had several students tell me this year that they have resumed playing guitar where they had quit, or resumed playing piano or an instrument, because of my advice to find some joy in your spare time. That's everything, right? So A's, B's, and C's, all right, but picking up hobbies and passions that make you happy and make you pleased, and maybe develop your character and maybe find you down a potential career road. So that's cool. I also had students set goals at the beginning of January, So February is a great time to do check-ins on those. If you want my goal setting sheet, you can get that on AmpedUpLearning.com. Really check them out if you haven't, but it's also on Teachers Pay Teachers if that's where you feel like you have to go. But I would definitely encourage you to try Amped Up Learning when you go for your next resource. And so setting goals. Where are you with what you wanted to do? What things have you not started working towards? What steps are there that you could try working on now to bring you closer to where you want to be? And I think it's a wonderful thing to do to keep that accountability on for the things we said we've wanted to do. Another thing that was fun for me a couple of weeks ago, 2K TV did an episode where they interviewed me about what it was like doing color commentary for NBA 2K, and that was phenomenal to see. That came out last Friday, it's about a week ago. Still available to watch on YouTube. That was episode 723, I want to say. So episode 23 of season 7. That was so cool. And that bought me a lot of conversational credit with my students. Because that was a dream that I had always wanted to do and was able to cross off. So if you don't have anything going on in your life as a teacher, write out some goals for yourself. Share those with your students. Let them know who you are as a person. Encourage them to do the same. And then hold each other accountable. And when you knock something out, go ahead and celebrate that. Raintree Nursery is sending me 2 pear trees. And shout out to Raintree Nursery. They're a wonderful cultivar of just so many varieties online. So Google Raintree Nursery. Go to their website. Now I'm going to be showing pictures of those pear trees going through the spring and through the school year and for years to come as a metaphor of how our learning grows during the year and our education and our knowledge. So they're physically watching a representation of our learning grow. And I don't think most kids have ever really conceived or conceptualized that gardening might be a hobby. I didn't think it would be fun myself. And this year it's been so wonderful to take a look at something that ages and grows based on your nourishment and nature and the sun and light and water. And look at time in a different frame, in a different lens, in a different hourglass, so to speak. And those changes of perspective, I think, can help us learn lots of lessons about ourselves. And those lessons we transfer back to the classroom again. Me, being home, got into gardening, took an interest in it. How can I teach this? Bring it into the room, showing pictures, contacting Raintree Nursery. They were gracious enough to donate, and that was really phenomenal. So if you're looking for a tree or a gift for someone, why don't you try that out and go to Raintree Nursery and support them, because they're someone that supports education. And we can all help each other nurture students and nurture the teachers that teach them. So phenomenal. Thank you, Raintree Nursery. Very much appreciated. There are so many cool things there too that just were not available at my local hardware store or outdoor supply store. So many different varieties. Like pears were hard to find. There's a lot of varieties, but not many growers in California that are shipping them. So at raintreenursery.com, you can see all of their nut trees, vines, berries, fruit trees. They've got a bunch of great videos and blogs too to help you understand and learn, which is all. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing as teachers? Is giving those resources. So if retailers are reaching out with multimedia content, where is ours, right? So that's really great. Raintreenursery.com. That's awesome. So what else does February mean? Valentine's Day is coming up this school week. Tail end of that. In high school, I don't do anything with it. In middle school, I used to teach the history of the day, like I did with all holidays, which was fun. But one thing I really liked doing with my 8th graders that I have not worked into high school yet, but I could, is everyone takes a piece of paper and puts their name on it, large, bold letters on the top. Sit in a circle, and this could be done in a chat room, I believe, or a Google Doc with the proper permissions and applicable safety measures if needed. And they pass it around so they see each person's name on a sheet by itself. And each student writes one affirmative, complimentary statement. And it can't be bland, like you're nice, you're cool. It's got to be from the heart, a little bit of depth, a little bit of sincerity, and something unique to that person. And then everybody ends up with a sheet of 30 to 35 compliments that are all unique. And not only is it great to receive all those at the end and internalize how valuable that we all are to each other, but the practice of giving 34 unique compliments is a wonderful life skill. And it's just a nice morale booster. So if you're a homeroom teacher or a classroom teacher where you got your kiddos all year, it's one I encourage. I think that's great. I haven't done it as much in a 200 student high school, but I think it could be done. And how often do we say that to ourselves? Well, that wouldn't work in my room. Really? What if you modified it to make it work? And there's just one more thing I wanted to talk about today with the guitar out. Well, see how much more relaxed we are when we're just have something around us that brings us joy? Take something into your room. Show a picture at the start of each day or each week. Make it special, Make class special. The last thing is just adjusting to mistakes and trying new things and being willing to fail. Taves talks about that all the time because of his affinity for Nick Offerman, which is really respectable. And that's, we try to do Market Watch, an app to do the stock market project, and 2/3 of students could not get in because of technical issues, errors, web browser malfunctions, whatever, lockouts, passwords, so many problems, yeah. And it went so poorly in second period that only 9 out of 34 could gain access to the app, and I'm running through option B, option C, option D, which I planned. But it almost makes you not want to do it, and instead of running or canceling or deleting in the next class period that day, I said, hey guys, this is what happened to me this morning. Can you believe this? And just that little bit of transparent, honest share, I think garners you respect, and you get to talk to students on a one-to-one level instead of an up high to down low level. So they were so on board that everybody was able to get into some version of the project without hassle, because they didn't want to give me any more hassle for the day, and they were willing to be flexible to see success happen. Our students, I feel like, are more resilient than maybe we give them credit for, and at the same time, this year has tested some students more than they've ever been tested, and that deserves to be appreciated. There is no one student, right? But allowing for that honesty to happen is, I feel like, a big part of how I've been successful as a teacher for the last 6 years. And it's also a big part of my music, too. I mean, my album, Limelight, just came out, and it's full of imperfections. At the same time, it's full of me and self-expression. And someone's true self-expression might not be your subjective ideal, but it can't be wrong, because that's how our students are. We need to meet them where they are. We need to listen to those tunes and hear them for what they are. If we can add, if we can gain, if we can assist, if we can develop talents and abilities, then bring yours so they know that theirs are welcome too. I think that's a really good lesson for this week. I really do. Thanks for listening, subscribing, both to the Podbean podcast, thank you for the bandwidth, and on YouTube, it's very much appreciated. If you want to support Limelight, I'd really appreciate that as well. Thank you, AmpedUpLearning.com, for supporting this show. And until next week, my friends, I'm Danny Hauger for Tavis Beam, wishing you a wonderful week, and I'll play you out with a little bit of chord progression. Now, how am I going to stop the recording? You didn't think about that, did you? Someone's going to stop this thing. We'll see you next week, everybody. Nice. Bye, everybody.